So welcome to the Meditation Lab. What follows is a documentation of the Meditation Lab that ran here at UNSW in semester 2 of 2014. It introduced the participants to a wide range of meditation practices, things like walking meditation, drawing, sound and sitting meditation. And I think it's really important when you first start to learn meditation to know that there are these different practices because we're all so different. So some of us who have a busy mind might prefer things like walking meditation or yoga, tai chi. Others may prefer the more formal sitting meditation. And for example, you can use meditation for different parts of your life. So for example, if you have trouble sleeping, you can use yoga nidra or bodily relaxation exercises just before you go to sleep. So all of the different practices that you'll see here at the Meditation Lab, you can use for different things. When we first come to meditation, it can be challenging in some ways. We might have quite blissful states, but we also might have quite difficult things that we come upon because often we don't sit quietly just with ourselves. So we might feel pain in our body, we might feel difficult thoughts coming up, or we might become aware of thoughts that go on that we hadn't realized we were having. And all of these things can happen when we first come to meditation. If, for example, you do hit some really difficult, possibly emotional things that come up through meditation, then it's a really good idea to get help from a professional. So we're just going to start with the basics, and that's how to sit. It's quite, there's a lot of attention put to posture in different meditation practices. So for example, in Zen, the idea is that if you have a strong, stable position, it can lead you to the realization of yourself as a Buddha. In yoga, the suggestion is that if you sit up straight, that you will be able, the energies will be able to flow more readily in your body. We don't have to believe any of these things, but the most important thing is that you sit in a way that's comfortable for you and in a sitting position that you can maintain for quite a long time. So sitting in a chair is fine. Just make sure that if you are sitting in a chair and it's quite a high chair, that you put something under your feet if they're not touching the ground. If you'd like to sit on the ground cross-legged, that's fine, but get some kind of wedge that you can put underneath yourself. So I use a folded pillow, and you lift your hips up by putting that underneath yourself, and it creates like a tripod sort of shape, which is a very strong, stable and quite comfortable, once you get used to it, quite comfortable way to sit. You can also sit against a wall with your legs straight out, and there are meditation kneeling stools that you can buy. And you can replicate this by getting a pile of pillows and putting them underneath yourself and then taking up like a kneeling position. It's also important how you put your hands, and mainly the idea is to put them in a way that helps with your neck and shoulders so that you're not straining your neck and shoulders. You can have your hands in your lap or on your knees face up or face down, just whatever's most comfortable for you. So sitting is important, and make sure that you find a way that suits you. You can even meditate lying down, but the idea is not to sleep, so it's probably better to do some kind of sitting position. There are hundreds of ways to meditate, possibly thousands, but there are two central ways that underpin these different methods. One is focusing techniques, and one is open monitoring, attention on the present moment technique, which is often called mindfulness. Both of them are focusing to some extent. Often with the focusing techniques you might have heard about, the breath will be used as a point of focus. But there are lots of other things that people use as a point of focus. It can be your looking at an object, looking at a flower, looking at a flame, anything that draws your awareness inwards. The other thing to remember about meditation, and particularly this idea of mindfulness or open monitoring, focusing on the present moment, and importantly focusing on the present moment non-judgmentally, is that you can bring this into your daily life. So for example, you might want to practice mindful eating, mindful walking, mindfully washing the dishes, mindfully taking a shower. And this is really where you'll start to feel the benefits, when you can apply mindfulness in your daily life, not just in formal sitting meditations. So for example, if you were practicing mindful showering, you'd use your sensory awareness as your point of focus. So you'd be feeling the water on your body, you'd be feeling the soap on your hands, you'd be feeling yourself standing in the shower. And this would be mindfully showering, and you could apply that to all those other things I mentioned, or anything that you do in your daily life. As I said, it's really important to be comfortable while you're meditating, and it can feel strange at first, sitting quietly with yourself. We so rarely do that. You might feel like laughing, you might feel energy moving through your body, you might have other feelings or impulses, and all of these are quite normal, though it's important to know that if you have a serious mental illness, that you really need to consult a doctor before you start to meditate. But one of the last things I'd like to talk about now is that we can sometimes bring a certain attitude to meditation that we've developed through our very busy daily lives, where we're very aware of our performance, where we feel like we have to have a better body, we have to be stronger, fitter, better looking. We have to know about all these trends all the time, whether we want to or not. In our leisure time, we feel like we have to have better and more exciting and more interesting holidays. In our work life, we have to achieve more, do more, get better educated. And all of these can be very good. It's good to have this understanding that we are trying to achieve in our lives, but there can also be a negative part to this kind of attitude. The idea that we might feel like we're not good enough because we're not fit enough or clever enough or go to enough interesting places. This can lead to stress, anxiety and depression. So as best as you can, when you come to your meditation practice, please try and leave that kind of attitude behind. It's really not about doing it in a particular way, though obviously there are some certain instructions to follow, but it's really just about doing it as well as you can in the moment. What follows is an overview of some of the benefits of meditation, which you might like to watch, or just move straight into the practices. Thank you so much for